Board of Directors to order. It is 6:31. So the first item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. Does anybody present want to make any public comment on the agenda items? No. Okay. Minutes. So the minutes for the June 2024 meeting were distributed electronically by Annie Lapley. So everyone should have had a chance to review them. Does anybody have any comments or corrections? And if not, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Communications and announcements. Kristen, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. For communication and announcements, first, I'd like to announce that the Glen Olden Library has reopened to the public. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Secondly, a reminder that September is National Library Card Sign Up Month. And for the libraries, if you're going to have any event during that time period, to use the tag that will be available on LibCal so that patrons and other staff members can find the events. And lastly, there are some statistics that Sherry, our youth services coordinator, sharing about the summer reading Beanstack Challenge. And she wanted to share that there were 409 active readers. 34 of those completed the challenges. There were 2,573 completed activities and 324,238 minutes of reading happened during the time period. Oh, and this challenge took place between June 19th and August 7th. And lastly, Sherry wanted to share that during the same time period, the 1,000 books before kindergarten, that there were 213 active readers with 16,226 books read, and 11 children completed their 1,000 book challenge with over 150 prizes given, and mostly books were given out. So any questions?
Yes, actually, do you happen to know how that compares with the previous year?
I don't. We'll find out. Yes.
Would be good to see growth.
Sure.
And this is just the online Beanstack challenge that we provide. Of course, the individual member libraries are also doing their own summer reading programs as well. We'll find out and follow up with you.
Thank you.
So that's everything, right, Kristen? Yep, yep. So the next item on the agenda is the financial report for July 2024. Annie also distributed that to the board electronically. Does anybody have any questions or comments on it? And barring none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Annie, administrator's report.
Yes, good evening. Hi, everybody. I have a variety of things to share with you. A few quick things. First, the Pennsylvania state budget was passed back in July with flat funding for all the library lines, including the public library subsidy line, which is what we all know of as state aid. So as libraries are beginning their work on their 2025 budgets, please plan to receive the same amount in state aid as you did this year. But if you want to double check that, the Office of Commonwealth Libraries state aid projections for all library entities can be found on the state aid LibGuide. I'm going to say the URL, but your directors will know it too. It's just pa-gov.libguide.com, and it's under the Bureau of Library Development section. Any questions? All right, I'll just keep going. Let me know. Okay. The district library report was submitted annually. Each district center is required to submit this report. It's very similar to what each library does for their annual report. At the beginning of the year, we report on our activities and finances of the district. So this year's report has been completed and locked for review by the Office of Commonwealth Libraries. And related to that, our district negotiated agreement for 2024-2025 has been approved. We received that notice on August 1st from the Bureau of Library Development, and this will allow our district funds to be released. So we do anticipate receiving payment of that $532,610 tomorrow, August 16th. Any questions? Okay. Next up is our SALSA. All libraries are reminded that the 2024 SALSA, which is the State Aid Library Subsidy Application, is due no later than Monday, August 26th. The Office of Commonwealth Libraries has been performing rolling reviews of the applications this year. So some libraries have already received corrections or their approvals, while other libraries are still working on it. Our system level SALSA can't be submitted until all of the member libraries have their application completed. So I am asking for strict adherence to that deadline to ensure that our application can also be submitted on time.
What was the date of that again?
August 26th. Yeah. The Pennsylvania Summer Library Program 2024 Impact Review opened for our librarians, primarily youth services librarians, on August 1st. We are really encouraging everyone to submit this report no later than 5 p.m. on September 20th, so they still got plenty of time. This report is used by the Office of Commonwealth Libraries as a document to communicate the differences libraries are making in their communities during the summer, and they share it out to all of the libraries across the Commonwealth as well as an advocacy tool. So the more libraries reporting, the more robust that report can be. So I hope everyone will participate in that. I'll move on to our county aid. Each year, a portion of county funding that comes to the Library Services Department is allocated for direct financial support to our member libraries, with the goal of encouraging cooperation and services for all county residents, as well as local municipal funding. The 2024 allocations based on the formula set forth in the DCLS membership standards and county aid formula document were shared with the directors back in July, and county aid signature pages were due today. And I'm happy to say everyone returned them. And so I'm able to submit those check requests tomorrow by the deadline. So libraries can anticipate those funds being dispersed in the August 30th county check run. So as usual, keep an eye out for it and let me know if you don't receive it in a timely fashion. And then again, sort of related to the previous item, I wanted to mention to everyone about the municipal funding report. And DCLB, I have copies to give you before you leave. As I said, one of the goals of the county aid program is to encourage local municipal funding. So with that in mind, there is a local funding qualifier in that formula that's based on the market value of each community to help account for the differing resources of all of our municipalities. So to determine that local funding qualifier, each year we put together the municipal funding report with the previous year's information. It provides information on each library's millage, and then things like per capita funding, per capita circulation, and some other, sort of interesting data points. So of course, we use that report in the formula, but then it also can be another really powerful tool when you're speaking with your municipal partners. So you can show them sort of where you fall within Delaware County's funding. And I have shared that out to all of our member libraries. So please reach out to your directors if you're interested in seeing that, if you haven't had the opportunity to yet.
Have any of the member libraries commented back that they thought it was incorrect, or that did they by and large think it's?
I mean, it's just based on the data from,
Right.
the previous year's annual report. I do know that many of the libraries do use it when they're presenting during like budget season, when they're talking with their municipalities,
Okay.
and find it to be helpful. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is our committee reports. That's you, Annie, right?
We don't have any board committee.
Right, no, are there any committees of the administrative staff? No, this is meant to be ours. Okay. Yep, no committees right now, so. New business, Annie, policy revision?
Yes. So in the packet that back, there is a proposed revision to our electronic information network policy that is related to the cost of printing.
Sorry, Annie, can you turn your mic on? Thank
Oh, sorry. I should know better than to turn it off. I'll say again with the mic on, there's a proposed revision to our electronic information network policy that is related to the cost of printing. This proposed revision came to the DCL Policy Committee, which is made up of representatives from 6 libraries. And then it was presented to our member library directors at the July directors meeting. And after much review and discussion, a majority of directors did vote to bring this proposal to DCLB for revision, or for approval, that is. So quickly to tell you a little bit about it, the proposed revision increases printing prices at our public access computers. Black and white printing would go from 15 cents a page to 20 cents a page, and color prints would go from 25 cents a page to 30 cents. This is the first increase in printing costs since at least 2008, and we think maybe ever, since we were offering central printing. In addition to those 2 changes to the prices, there is language in the revision that gives libraries that qualify for state aid equalization aid the discretion to adjust prices to meet the needs of their service area. This provision was an attempt to apply an equity lens to the policy, but with a really clear guideline. State aid equalization aid is designated by the Office of Commonwealth Libraries for communities that are the most in need. And in Delaware County, the Darby Library and the J. Lewis Crozier Library qualify for that aid. And then also I'll just say as a reminder that all of the independent member libraries do have the ability to waive printing fees at their discretion, but if they're charging, then it's the set price.
So, and they're not allowed to raise the prices higher than this. Okay. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments on that revision? Okay, can I get a motion to approve it?
Also with the motion.
Okay, second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, reallocation of state aid funding. Annie.
Yes. On August 1st, I received a letter from the Glen Olden Borough Manager indicating that due to lack of record keeping, the library would not be able to produce a 2022 audit and would forfeit its 2024 state aid distribution. So I am proposing this evening that this board follow the precedent that has been set previously and authorize me to evenly distribute the $25,189 originally allocated to Glen Olden Library to the remaining eligible libraries.
Does anybody
I
have?
make a
any-
motion to approve.
You're making a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, system-wide evaluation stakeholder groups. Annie?
Sure. Just a quick update. We have started hosting our first stakeholder group meetings. We've had met with 3 of the 4 groups over the last 2 weeks, and the last one is scheduled for next week. I can't thank everyone who's been able to participate in these first conversations enough. It has been really interesting, and even just in these first conversations, we're seeing a lot of things bubble up that are very similar, but also very different. So it's going to continue to be an interesting conversation. We're also seeing some of those groups starting to meet on their own about some collaboration opportunities. So it's pretty cool. Each group is using kind of the same discussion and agenda topics for each of the meetings that we'll be hosting. And then, as we've said previously, we are going to also bring together an overall task force with representatives from all of those libraries later in this fall to really come to a consensus around what our first priorities should be moving forward next year. I know many of you have gotten to participate, and I hope you've found them interesting as well. And
Yes, I went to 2 last week, and I thought they were really, really interesting, and a lot more conversation than we had in the bigger group meetings. And I know Virginia and, well, you are going next week, right? And Doug, you're next week?
Yeah.
Yep. So, very good.
That's all I have about that.
Okay. So, has county council said when they would like some type of status report on it?
They don't have a specific timeline. I have a regular check-in with our liaison, Dr. Taylor, so she's aware of kind of how the progress is going. And I think once that bigger task force has an opportunity to do some prioritizing, then that's probably when we'll maybe go back.
Right. It would be good to give them interim reports as opposed
Absolutely.
to just coming right at the end.
Yeah.
I think what's good about it is that sometimes you have these big reports and nothing ever happens.
Right.
So I think this is evidence that something's going to happen, maybe not what was originally intended, but something.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's smart.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So we are now at the point for public comments, and this could be public comments not on agenda items as well. So if you want to talk about agenda items, feel free to come up, or if you'd like to bring something else to our attention, please feel free. Okay, it looks like no one wants to come forward. So I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Have a nice evening, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody.